Guys, give it up. Give it up for yourselves for coming out tonight. It's cold, and you guys came out to support a wonderful thing, so give it up for yourselves. Hell yeah. Staples in my head and a song in my heart. I went to Numbers nightclub with 15 staples in my head on one of their classic Friday nights. I wasn't supposed to, like what, with the 15 staples in my head and all. But when you think about it, like, how could I not? Numbers didn't go well. I didn't have much attire to put together a vibe with head staples that whispered edgy instead of accident prone. Also, I wasn't medically cleared to be on a crowded dance floor with all the lasers and thumping beats. Did I get the street cred as an authentic emo punk? In my mind. I don't think it remained in anybody else's. I do think the lasers bouncing off the staples had a neat visual effect. So that's pretty cool. The staples were what remained of a benign, big-ass brain tumor. Y'all, I had a thing that for over 10 years' time grew into the size of a squishy softball behind my left eye. And I didn't even know about it until like the last week of its inhabitation. Make your hands into the shape of a softball. Let's all do this. I'm a teacher. I'm looking. We all do this. I'm not, nope, sir in the front that you think you're not doing it. No, it's both hands, sir. I can see you. You're very clear. You're the one I'm going to point at. Everybody else can get away with it, but you do not. So put your drink down and let me see it. Okay, thank you. All right, yeah. Now think about that mashing down on your skull and what havoc that would cause, because that's exactly what happened to me. And the eeriest thing about it is I didn't know it. Towards the end, people suspected something was up, but assumed it was like recreational substance, like recreational, stuff, like a former family tradition. Or maybe they just thought I was weird. The doctor explained it like this. Imagine all your brain cells sitting in their assigned seats, like the audience at a theater. Okay. What's been happening is this mundanoma, or actually it's in the meninges surrounding the outside of your brain under the skull, has been getting bigger and bigger and pushing inward and displacing those brain cells, moving them out of their assigned seats, crowding them on top of one another. So it's no wonder right now you're cursing a blue streak, because it's also affecting your impulse control center. Because I believe my response at the time was, fuckity fuck, fuck, what the motherfucking fuck, fuck, fuck! Will she talk like this after the surgery? My mother asked. Oh, you'll be amazed, the doctor said. All that depression will be gone. She'll think so much clearer, so much faster. It'll take a couple of years for those brain cells to settle back down in their seats, but it'll be better. I stared at him dumbstruck. I also stared at my mother. It seemed to me a perfect time to be cursing, so I let it fly with a few more fuckity fuck fucks. I had just turned 29. A few months earlier, my father had died from 3 small, undiagnosed malignant brain tumors sparked by a melanoma. My parents were divorced, and though I took more after him, our relationship had become strained. And the last time I spoke with him over the phone at Christmas, I'd cut the conversation short. He was slurring his words. I thought he was drunk again, classic family tradition. He had slipped into a month-long coma the next day. I held his non-responsive hand during the 4 days I was able to go see him, trying to say, I'm sorry, and all the confusion and grief and anger at myself and at him swirling inside me. I knew they were going to take him off life support. The night he died in New York, I woke up bolt upright in bed from a dream in which he was circling around the ceiling fan above me and said my name. The sheets around me were drenched in these mysterious heavy night sweats that had strangely become increasingly common. The thing about death is how it allows one to forgive. It radically reframes perspective. I wish I had known. I wish I had kept him on the phone longer. I think it's why I don't like conversations to end sometimes over the phone, over text, because there's this hidden space between when reaching to connect with someone's soul from one second to the next, a light could flicker and just be gone. Or it might be that I'm just really bad at ending conversations with people. There are some things that fell along the way in my development, as evidenced by the glowing alien blom in the cross skull sectioned in the MRI. What the hell had I been thinking with for 1/3 of my life? Who was I? Was death coming? Was I just like my dad? There are 3 things taken together that can signify a serious health condition. And I didn't know it at the time because they're not easily connectable. The first is drenching night sweats. I mean, waking up during the night with the sheets around you soaked so that you stumble to grab a beach towel to spread on the bed so you can just lie down and fall back asleep every day, every few days. The second is a sense of heavy, impending doom. Heart attack patients have described this too. It's not anxiety. It's like, it felt like something big and foreboding was here. I thought it meant the death of my mother or my stepfather. I mean, I'm not into all the like, woo shit, but it felt like something was very, very wrong. The third was what brought me to the eye doctor. It's double vision. I have awful eyesight to begin with. So the first 2 times it happened, I rationalized it away. Like I would turn my head suddenly to look behind me and see double for a few moments. And then I looked in my rear view mirror when I was driving late at night and I saw a double pair of headlights. And I just thought, I need a better prescription. The optometrist didn't let on a peep to the anomaly she had seen behind my left eye when she peered with a light. She calmly said, "Well, let's take a look with the MRI. Why don't you go here tomorrow? They'll take you in the morning. I'll let them know." So I was blindsided, like literally. It was pressing on my optic nerve. "You need to stop smoking, stop drinking, stop driving, stop working because a seizure should kill you," said the doctor at Methodist. "We will remove it in a week by drilling into the top left of your skull, inserting a long, fine needle, vibrating it to break up the mass, and then sucking it out with a narrow tube." Within 3 days, I couldn't speak correctly. I could recognize someone, but not be able to say their name. I was terrified of falling asleep because every night as I was drifting off over and over, I felt like a hand would grab the back of my head and throw me back off a diving board where I would be paralyzed till I could gather the strength to move, and I was still unable to say anything. I was given 1 Valium an hour before the operation. I was wheeled into the operation room, deeply terrified, unable to process the surrealism. I had numbly come to accept that this would happen. But I did not know what waking up on the other side or not would feel like. Was this it? Was any of this worth it? Do any of us matter? I was on the operating table when they were coming at me with the anesthesia mask, and that's when I struggled with them. It's like an animal will fight hardest when it's cornered. I struggled to get away, to desperately push back against them, against everything. The desperation when it clearly didn't work in those final moments is the deepest panic you will ever feel. Coming to, it was like existing out of nothing in the blackest night. There was a sound. I could immediately identify it. Another patient like moaning over and over. I heard it for a while before coming aware that I had a tongue and that like I could make that moaning noise. Then the nurses came to me, got me to a place with light, with people I could see and hear. It was confusing relief. The upper left side of my face was numb for months. For over a year, I was unable to swallow food easily. My brother asked if I had any chunks of the tumor I could like stick in a pendant and wear around my neck. I had to go on temporary disability until it maxed out. I didn't work full-time again for a long time. Had to take care of that recreational substance thing and whatnot. And I didn't see any difference in my thinking, also scary. But what did start was the rocky road to centering creativity, making meaningful connection with others, facing shit head on with love that finally let me write this story. We all have hard times, and facing the good and the bad with love is it. I continue to curse like a fucking motherfucker, but now I laugh, I sing, I speak a whole lot more. I still go dance some shit out at Numbers, and sometimes I feel my Father's presence, and I think that maybe we forgive each other. Thank you.
All right. Give it up for Dusti one more time. What an inspired story. I think one of the reasons why a lot of us like GUST is because people can really share their vulnerability. And it really kind of speaks to all of us, because may that not be all of our own experiences. All of us go through some pretty heavy shit in life, and it can be really dark sometimes and can feel really overwhelming. But I think that what's great about the human experience is that when we can be vulnerable and share our hardships, our fears, and our worries amongst other people, real magic can happen there. And I just want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. And I also want to thank Astrid for that wonderful story, because that's a heavy story, right? But life can be heavy, but I think sometimes, you know, I think it's a quote from Lord of the Rings, actually, where I think they're talking about how to keep, now I forgot, crap. That'll come to me. No, it's how to keep the darkness at bay is just by the small acts of kindness. And I think also like sharing our vulnerable moments with people and allowing people in and the love that we get from that really can change the world, everyone. All right. Okay. Well, moving right along. That was a really beautiful story. I was touched by that one. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Okay, now number 7. Y'all yelled at me last time. I can do whatever I want. We can start all over again. But we're not, because that Whataburger is calling my name. All right. Story number 7. Schrodinger's Toast. Written by Daniel Oliver and read by Chet Farmer. Chet! Hello, Chet. I'm doing good. How you doing? I like that mustache.
Thank you. Grown